Wembley to take on England in the Euro 2020 group match. And I thought to myself, what better way to talk about this game than to do a writing video where we will write down all the names or words I associate with England and Scotland in terms of football related players, etc. So, Scotland are traditionally a blue team, so we need a blue marker pen. England, obviously white, but white and red, so we'll go with red. There we go, that's all we need out of there today. Let's try and put this somewhere. Hopefully you can still hear me with the microphone where I've just placed it. So England won their first game of the Euros 1-0 against Croatia. And Scotland lost their first game of the Euros against the Czech Republic. I apologise guys for that. I didn't realise the phone wasn't put on silent. My bad. Before we continue, I do need to celebrate the fact that Tottenham have announced today that Gennaro Gattuso will not be considered for the Tottenham job. Thank God for that. I mean, at this rate, they might as well just go and hire bloody Big Sam or Alan Kirbishley because it's getting a bit embarrassing now. Apparently, Fonseca, the talks with him have fallen through. How the hell that could go wrong for Tottenham? I think it's actually on Tottenham's part. I think they've said no, we don't want him. And then was being linked with Gattuso, who had like about 20 days in charge of Fiorentina before walking away. Now, before we continue, I will say I've been to Scotland, I reckon about 4, maybe 5 times on holiday. It's a lovely place to go. I can't say I've ever had good weather when I've been there, just due to the time of year I've been, but I have been to Scotland a few times and been to some lovely places. Right, anyways, I don't know what relevance that had. I've also been in England a lot, on a lot of holidays, as I live in England. Okay, first of all, should I give you my prediction for the game, or should we leave that to the end? I think we'll leave it to the end. Before we continue, hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. Okay, here we go. We're going to do 1 England, 1 Scottish. That's the way we're going to word this. So, '66. That was the last time England won a major tournament. Was '66. 1998. France 1998. I remember watching the game. Scotland's opening game of France 98 was against Brazil. That was the last time Scotland. It was Scotland v Brazil. I think it said France v Brazil like an idiot. No, Scotland's opening game of France 98 was against Brazil. And they had like the likes of Cafu, Dunga, Ronaldo. It was a ridiculous Brazilian squad. And did Scotland get a draw in that game, or they narrowly lost it? I can't remember, but yeah, I remember watching the game. That was 23 years ago. That's the last time Scotland reached a major finals. Now, I'm not one of them English fans who wants to see all the other nations do crap. I was happy to see Wales beat Turkey the other day and get the draw with Switzerland and hopefully go through. I would like Scotland to go through to the next round, just not at the expense of England. But if Scotland get a draw with England and then they beat Croatia, and they have 4 points and go through. England draw with Scotland and beat Czech Republic and have 7 points and go through leaders. I'll take that. Harry Kane, England's star player, the Golden Boot winner of the World Cup 3 years ago, didn't really show up, in my opinion. In the first game against Croatia, he actually cost me my bet, which I was not impressed with, and he needs to improve a lot today. Left backs for Scotland. Unfortunately for Scotland, they don't have a star striker. They've got Shea Adams and one or two others. The lad at Lyndon Dykes at QPR. Unfortunately for them, though, their two of their best players are both left backs for their clubs. Andrew Robertson and Kieran Tierney. And it's such a shame for them to try and squeeze the two of them into the team at the same time. Their other star player, in my opinion, is a Man United player, and that is Scott McTominay. David Beckham. Is there anyone more iconic for England than David Beckham? And I don't just mean the fact that he shacked up with a Spice Girl. I mean the fact that this man went through absolute hell in an England shirt. And I mean hell. I was around at the time. I was old enough to see him in against Argentina. When he got sent off, it was at 2000, I believe. And literally every ground he went to after that as a Man United player for 2 or 3 years, he was hounded, absolutely bombarded with abuse by the fans. And yet, he was our saviour against Greece in that deciding game to get to a World Cup, I think it was, or the Euros, a couple of years later, when he was the captain and he ran his socks off and virtually the last kick of the game, scored that free kick. Colin Hendry, former Blackburn centre-back, Premier League winner, was a colossus for Scotland, and from what I remember, he was in the team back when they played Brazil in '98. You don't want to get on the wrong side of Colin Hendry, that is for certain. Over the years, England have been responsible for a lot of great players going abroad, from Steve McManaman, Michael Owen, Graham Souness. That's a lie. Graham Souness is not English, my bad. David Platt, Paul Gascoigne, all went abroad. One of our not so memorable names to go abroad was a manager. We called him the Wally with the Brolly, because during a game against Croatia, I think it was, Steve McLaren stood on the touchline with an umbrella over his head whilst we lost. And he'll forever be known. If you've not heard it, you need to go and watch on YouTube or somewhere. When he was managing in Holland, and he did a press conference and he spoke English but with a Dutch accent. It is the best thing. It's way better than Kevin Keegan's rant against Alex Ferguson back in the day. Steve McLaren doing a Dutch accent while speaking English is the best thing you'll ever hear from a football manager. It is hilarious. I beg you to go and watch it. Even better than when Roy Hodgson said, "I don't have to explain myself," after England crashed out against was asked for an explanation. He's like, why am I explaining myself to you? Bloody idiot. Absolute fool. So it is actually a shame for Scotland that they're at one point in the 80s, out of the home nations, Scotland had the best players, like 3 or 4 players which just were way better than what England had to offer at the time. They had Graham Souness, they had Kenny Dalglish, they had Alan Hansen, who I haven't wrote down there, but he was also he's Scottish and was playing in that team back then. They had a great team. Unfortunately, not the whole team was stacked full of great players, but they had enough that if they had maybe 1 or 2 more, they probably could have gone on and won a major tournament. Paul Gascoigne, we could have done him in red and blue, English, but played for Rangers, had some of his best times at Rangers up in Scotland. And the amount of stories I've heard about Paul Gascoigne, I can't remember half of them, but I've heard some hilarious stories told about him. Yeah, you have to go back and like read his book or just watch some of the interviews I've watched where people are asked about their opinion on Paul Gascoigne. Such a flawed man, and such a shame that he's had so many issues over the years. When he was playing for England and he got the booking in, was it the quarter-finals, I believe, and you see Lineker tell, I think it's Bobby Robson back then, that Gazza was crying on the pitch. That's such an iconic moment. Braveheart, one of the best films in the 90s, and it was based around a Scottish warrior. Unfortunately, it didn't star a Scottish movie star. No, it featured Mel Gibson pretending to be Scottish and painting his face red and white and blue and screaming freedom while showing his bare arse on the television. Great movie, but yeah, apologies, I just burped. Southgate, Gareth Southgate. Okay, so back in Euro 96, England reached the semi-finals. They're taking on Germany. Germany are England's nemesis. It goes to penalties, a penalty shootout. England are famous for being crap at penalties. Gareth Southgate steps up. Gareth Southgate misses. Gareth Southgate was hounded. They took the absolute living piss out of the man. Eventually, he learned to sort of, accept it. He was like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to make the most out of this. He started doing McDonald's adverts where he'd put a bag over his head. Alan Shearer was in them adverts as well. And he put a bag over his head, Southgate, as if, like, I'm going to order a McDonald's, so I don't want people to know who I am. And fair play to the bloke, he's now England manager. He's probably the best England manager we've had whilst I've been alive, I reckon. Just from what you see of him, the way he comes across in the media, the way he's with the players, the team's performances. I think he's a very good manager for England. But when he took over from Big Sam after Sam Allardyce was caught in that sting operation, I thought, oh God, here we go. Why do we want Southgate? But now I'm happy that he's the England manager. I'm not saying he'd be a very good club manager. Chris Coleman left the Wales job after getting them to a semi-final of a World Cup, was it? Oh, or the Euros, only to go into club management and be really crap again. So Scotland are responsible for some of the best managers we have seen in Britain, from Sir Alex Ferguson, Jock Stein, and the one who managed Liverpool. What the hell's his name now? You know who I'm on about. My memory's like a sieve. They had like two, didn't they, in a row, that everyone raved about, like proper raved about, in the 80s. What's his name? Let's have a look. Because I feel really bad that I don't know off the top of my head what his name is. I don't want anyone thinking I'm taking the mick. Wait there. Okay. Let's have a little look. Bob Paisley and Joe Fagan. I believe they were Scottish. I might be wrong. Let's have a look. Okay, no. Bob Paisley was actually English. My bad. Okay, he was, yep, so that doesn't count. How about Joe Fagan? Was he English? Was he Scottish rather? I might have just credited Scotland with two great managers that they didn't produce. Okay, Joe Fagan was also a Englishman. Oh well, you know what I'm saying. There've been some great Scottish managers over the years. Sir Alex Jock Stein, David Bloody Moyes. There you go, David Moyes, great Scottish manager. Eventually, one day, will be the Scotland manager, I believe. Also, Craig Brown back in the day. Alex, what's his name? Ginger bloke. You know what I'm on about? Alex. What the hell's his name? The one, that one. Managed Rangers, Aston Villa, Birmingham. God knows, annoying kid though. I remember that much. Anyways, let's do a couple more of these. Back to England. Oh, I've got a good one for Scotland. We'll go back to that in a sec. England. The Queen. Now, I'm not sure if the Queen will be sitting down today with a cream tea and a Kit Kat watching the game tonight, but I'd like to think, as our leader, I'd like to think she is. I know we've already done one film for Scotland. One of my favourite Scottish films of all time is Trainspotting. What a movie. Who ever thought looking at trains could be so much fun? We have Wembley, that is England's national stadium, and not a bad stadium either. Very good stadium. It is. Will the national team? I hope we do. We have a chance to, don't we? Yeah, this is the first year we've had a tournament held at Wembley for England since like '96. So they've got no excuses. They're playing all their group games at Wembley, and there's a chance to play one of the other matches in the tournament also at Wembley for England. Any man who is willing and brave enough to wear a skirt out in public deserves full praise and their Primark shopping. Fair play to you guys. And good luck tonight. Good luck to England. Good luck to Scotland. Hopefully some of the players will watch this video beforehand and it'll inspire them. Who knows? Anyways, take it easy. I'll see you all again soon. And good luck to everyone. Bye.